These are the participants in the Tata Steel Masters section, the A group. Levin Aronian from Armenia, Karl Nakamura from the United States, Fabiano Caruana representing Italy, Boris Gelfand from Israel, Sergei Karyakin representing Russia, Dominguez from Cuba, Anis Giri, the Netherlands, Wesley So, the Philippines, Nadic from Germany, Pantala Hari Krishna from India, Richard Rapport from Hungary, and Luke Van Wheelie, who I met once and got his autograph, is from the Netherlands. Average rating 2743, category 20. Great tournament. Don't miss any of the action. Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. Got another great chess video for you. This is round 6 of the 76th edition of the Tata Steel chess tournament currently being played in the Netherlands. It's between Dominguez from Cuba is white, and my buddy Karl Nakamura from the United States is black. Let's get right to it. It's going to be a Berlin defense. A lot of these Berlins aren't boring anymore. They turn out to be very interesting late middle game, early end game games. I'll tell you, it's great. Knight f6, we all know the Berlin by heart, so I'll just breeze right through it. Bishop takes, pawn takes, bishop, queen takes, king takes, h3, bishop d7, we all have seen it a million times. Rook d1, king moves over. If king goes to e8 instead, then b3, I think to fianchetto the dark squared bishop for white. Knight to c8, g4, typical Berlin. Knight moves, knight comes up, and the bishop has to come back. This position has been seen a million times, especially lately with the big, I guess as everybody likes the Berlin now, and everybody's playing it. So if you don't want to play Sicilian, you have to play Berlin, at least at this top level. f4 to reinforce the e5 pawn, b6, f5, h5, king to g2, c5. Now you notice now, black's king is going to be coming up here. There is no light squared bishop anywhere. So these light squares, it's okay for the king to be there, because the light squared bishop for white is gone. Knight c3, g6. There's an alternative. If it was knight c6, bishop f4, knight d5. Boy, I'll tell you, I know black plays this all the time, and Vladimir Kramnik, of course, is the, I said I'd call it the father, maybe the stepfather of the rejuvenation of the Berlin, but it's scary looking for black, I'll tell you. Of course, Karl knows what he's doing, so does Dominguez. They're both world-class players, especially Dominguez lately. Even though Karl, I believe, is a stronger player, Dominguez in the last year and a half has made dramatic progress. Usually when you get older, you fall behind. Now go ahead. So hats off to Dominguez. Plus, on top of that, I think he's a good guy. f6, knight moves, knight f3. If he had gone instead e6, after f takes, knight c to e4, and that's 3/4 of a pawn advantage for white. Currently the game's about even. Tiny, minute advantage for white, even though it looks like white has all the space. That's the thing with the Berlin. It looks like you're losing, but you're really not. After knight to b4, bishop f4. Now, I think this might have been a mistake on Karl's part, even though the computer shows it. Knight takes c2. White gives up that pawn. And after he moves the rook, the knight comes back. I think that's a pawn sacrifice. a3, knight c6. Now you've got both rooks barreling down here. This bishop, this knight in the future can jump in. This knight can jump in. Sorry for all my arrows there. Got a little carried away, but you get the idea. Knight to e4. Bishop d7. After knight to d8, rook takes, king takes e6. And after f takes, Knight to e5. And I'll tell you, it looks like white's closing in. But the score on the computer is almost dead even. If you're keeping track for this, there's a rook, 2 pawns, and a bishop for 2 knights. And oddly enough, black's ahead in material, but it's dead even on the score. After knight e to g5, this is where I think Carl stumbles. The computer calls for knight to d8. Guess he's trying to get the knight in here just to block this pawn. And if he does take, bishop can take. There is no light squared bishop, so that'll be a good blockade of that e pawn. Carl takes the pawn instead. Now, it was almost even up to this point. After taking the pawn, h takes, and then bishop takes, it's almost a 1.5 advantage for white. Also wanted to mention, at the end of this video, there's going to be 2 short interviews, one with Dominguez and one with Nakamura. I think you'll find interesting. They're short, but I think they're informative about what their players were thinking during the game and if they thought they were winning, losing, or was just a draw. After bishop takes, knight takes f7, rook to h5. White's about a 1.5 pounds in score. It's looking bad for Naka right now. King to g3. These 2 pawns here just look just brutal, and they're both passed. Wow. Bishop f5. Interesting might have been if bishop takes, king takes, knight to d4 check, king to g4. I don't think it's much difference with what Carl played. After bishop f5, knight in 7 to g5, bishop h6. Look at this cluster of pieces on this side of the board. Holy crow, look at that. Looks like a postage stamp. e6, here come the passed pawns. Bishop takes, knight takes. Worse, I think, is bishop takes, king f4. And I think that's a little bit better for white. He's still behind in score, but it might be a hair better for him. After knight takes g5, rook takes. Carl sacrifices the exchange to get that 1 passed pawn. He's almost behind 2 points in score. Let's see how it works out. Rook e1. If white had gone b4, king b7, rook to e1, knight, pawn takes, knight checks, king, bishop d7. And that's not so hot for black. After rook to e1, knight d4. Blocking up the open file, but even more important, guarding the light squared bishop. Rook c to d1, going after the knight, so he can play rook takes, and after pawn takes, get 2 pieces for the rook. And of course, that would put white a piece down, and that would be the end of the game. Bishop f7, he moves the bishop. Bishop e3, hitting the knight. Knight f5. King g4. King comes up, so the rook can get out. Bishop f4. Knight c6. Rook h1. These double rooks are going to be tough, even though Carl's got 2 pawns for him. But there's still this passer. He's still got to contend with it. Rook to f8. Rook h7. Knight d4. Rook f1. Bishop e6. Check. King moves. Bishop c4. He's going to drop the c pawn. King moves to b4. Rook f2. Knight e6. King g4. For those of you that are wondering if he's taking the pawn, king takes, bishop d3 check. And I'll tell you the truth, I think white might not blow the game. I don't think he's going to draw this. After king to g4, right now the computer has 0.00. It's dead even. Knight takes the rook. Bishop takes. And this is where they call it a draw. I think Carl, even though he's my buddy, and I'm really proud of him, how he's been playing the last year or so, I think he dodged another bullet on this one. I think he was in trouble. I think that rook, I believe it was F1 move earlier with Dominguez, was a blunder. So Carl dodges another bullet. That's my first game from round 6. I hope you enjoyed it. Carl's not doing too well in this tournament, so we'll have to see how he does. It's a long tournament. I believe it's 11 games. This is round 6. So we'll see how it goes. Aronian is just killing everybody. 5 points out of 6. Amazing stuff. Aronian's a very steady player. We'll see how he does in the next 5 rounds. Just want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. And I want to thank all my new subscribers. Thank you very much. The many that I've subscriptions that I've received lately. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.
Lanier, you seemed pretty close to a win today?
Yes, I mean the game was like usual with my games with Hikaru. I'm always white. Very often get very nice position, even winning position, but then somehow I cannot win. So yeah, definitely it looks very close to a win at some point. I don't know when. I kept on missing things when I was a bit in time trouble, but yeah, I'm sure it must be winning somehow.
Thank you. Hikaru, it was a great fight for the draw?
Yeah, I mean, I had played something very similar against Anish a few months ago, and then I was trying to figure out what the difference was in the game between that one and this one, and somehow I think it's very unclear. I mean, when I played Bishop D7, I think objectively I'm losing. For some reason, I just couldn't see anything today. I just missed this very obvious tactic. Like, I spent so much time analyzing Bishop D7, Knight G5, Knight D8, and E6 or B4 different lines, and then suddenly, the moment I played Bishop D7, I realized Knight G5, Knight D8, Rook D7, King D7, E6 should just be winning for white. So, I mean, Bishop D7 is a terrible move, but even after Knight D8, I mean, I think it's have to let the computers decide whether it's I mean, either I'm better or I'm losing probably. So I'm not sure what's going on. But after that, I think it was quite difficult, and I was fairly lucky because Lenier probably he wasted a few tempos and time pressure when he put these rooks on E1 and D1. If he had just gone Rook H1 right away, I think my whole setup is much slower. Whereas in the game, once I get Knight D4 and Knight F5 and King C6, it's still probably winning, but it's quite tricky. And then right at time control, he made another blunder when he played Rook F1. But still, I mean, at that point, I think it's probably already very close to a draw, just simply because one way or another I'm probably going to win the f6 pawn. And I mean, okay, maybe you can play on, but objectively it should be a draw. So, I mean, I'm certainly happy considering the way I played.
Thank you.